Hello there. In this video I will express the notion of psychic vampirism from an angel magic and white magic perspective. And that all that must be done is for you to turn on the light, so you see what's around you and you rejoice in the stream of life that surrounds you circularly, making a circle. Okay, vampire will try to create embarrassment and fear, self-guilt, judgment, constant state of fear, respect, reward, and punishment, all, both of them in the negative. Okay, so negative reward, but perceived by the person vampirized as positive, and then actual punishment. So however you impact the psychic vampire, you're always at a loss. You have plenty of time to get your revenge. Plenty of time for this person to get what they deserve karmic wise. I'm saying using the pronoun they because not because I've become ignorant, but because the vampire is split. Okay, so just like the demons, faces that appear, more than one voice, the devil speaks in more than one voice, more than one attitude to confuse you. The psychic vampire will use both positive and negative, just like Satan. He will be both entertaining and draining, loving and deadly, and all of these things together that create that sharp, beautiful contrast that people seem to adore, like in the movie Twilight. People are drawn to this type of love story that will eventually sabotage you and kill you through the archetype of the vampire, and the only choice that it's there in the movie and books is the werewolf. So it's as if, I love the movies of the Twilight series, but it's as if you could only choose by two evils. What's the lesser evil? That's also another technique of vampirism. I could talk days about psychic vampires. That was also my master's degree thesis on Dracula. Now, I didn't know all those things that I know today. Back then, that was just about 5 years ago. But I was interested in these themes of people that, by putting in your mind that sense of guilt, try to stop your energy from flowing. It's as if it's like they come into you and then they make you laugh and then they take and they've run away and there's no way you can contact them back. Now, I don't use active ways of psychic vampirism But sometimes if something was stolen from you, you have the power and God-given right to take it back. So it's okay to respond to these vampires not with their same means, but just like they drain you, you drain them, not of their own energy, but of the energy that they took away from you. So you drain them back, you just take back. So how do you take somebody's energy? You concentrate on the vital part of the person by diminishing it and introducing it into you. Psychic vampirism per se is a negative practice which I don't encourage, but you want to know the techniques to both restore your energy, to keep it high, such as Reiki, and to take back what's yours, okay? Because sometimes when you drain from a vampire, it's a feeling that could last for days and leave you drained, just like that. And if you don't know magic, there's not a way to get on with this curse, okay? So, and you can drain the person who drained you without becoming a vampire. Again, if somebody steals something from you, do you let them go, or like your wallet, or do you try to get it back? You don't steal the person's wallet, you take back yours. So yeah, how do I do this? Self-defense. So you can learn, in quotes, psychic vampirism as a self-defense techniques, or better, you know how to work energy in a way that's divine and positive, which contributes to the well-being of everyone. Could you use energy techniques to train somebody who says going to kill somebody? That's not black magic, that's white magic. It's just, who are you draining? And for what purpose? Was that energy going to be employed for the positive or for the negative? The psychic vampire, in truth, drains you of the positive energy that you would have used for positive ends, such as enlighten other people or be happy. So, splendid example, you get married and a friend comes to you and says, very good, I'm so happy for you, but there's no soul coming through the message that your friend is giving you. You got married. I'm so happy. No emotion. That's already like subtle, not too subtle psychic vampirism. And your subconscious start wondering, what have I done wrong? Some people even get to the point of thinking if they married the right person. Another way is for the vampire to come to you and be like, I think there can be no one better for you, and then they go back home and they cast, I don't know, a breakup spell, and maybe the person that you married is your soulmate. If the person is your soulmate, or if the vampire is using black magic, by that I mean calling forth of unclean spirits, whoever they are, then it's vampirism. If, of course, the marriage wasn't meant to be because it wasn't God's will, it can be celebrated in a church and it's a further sin, but it's not God's will, then an angel would split up the couple. But not if there is real love. That when there's real love, the psychic vampires would come through and try to smash that door and come into your life and take away what's yours, and there seems to be nothing that you can do, because just like in the movies, they're so powerful. And there's a lot of cults in America and worldwide, especially in America and Canada though. We tend to buy everything, that reinforce the concept of the psychic vampires. Okay, they don't really do anything, they don't really like anything, and they don't really want anything. What do they get? Death while they're living, death after they die, and death all along. It's cult of death. It's not the undead. See, the Christian doesn't even think about, most of the times, of death, because he realizes death is an illusion. So that's your alchemy already. So a lot of cults in the US are starting to rejoice in the vampirism attitude. And how do you fight off vampirism? First of all, you identify the vampire. See what I've done when I started the video? I turn on the light. A vampire comes to you as a work colleague, or as a lover, a partner, or just someone who pops out of nowhere. That's your vampire. Most times the vampire wouldn't identify himself as one, just like demons sometimes would come under the guise of different spirits. They seldom appear in their own, in quotes, light. Most often they, as Lucifer, pretend to be. Well, there's a lot of images that you don't want to look at, but I know that there are about Lucifer as depicted as an angel of light. Because only by, and can obviously it won't match to the real angel, because you can just tell by their energy that it's dirty. So the vampire does the same. He says, like, if you watch the movie Rosemary Baby, the neighbors, the actress, I think she won an Academy Award. Don't recall, not Mia Farrow, but the say the antagonist. They move to a new apartment, a new building, and then these two really nice fella, they start inviting the young couple to dinner, and they bring them desserts, and they really treat them, in every way. And then the person, then she becomes the bringer of the son of the devil, the Antichrist, who would be born in I was gonna say Atlantic City, in New York, towards, I think, what was it? I'm asking Michael, the archangel. The end of the 60s. So towards the end of the 60s, that movie took place, and they come to you every day, and beautiful smiles, and then strange things happen in the movie. Somebody kills, herself, and then strange coincidences start to appear. Every time you see the same person, you feel drained and insecure and not enough happy about your life. If you connect the dots of this picture, you see protection of God is greater, but your stupidity can take you out of control of the situation. These people think they can control you with their mind, and especially drive you onto hell. And you can't do anything, and let go only when most of the times it won't cause your death. But sometimes the psychic vampires is so skilled that the person enters a tunnel of schizophrenia, drug abuse, and then eventually might even die. But most times the allure of the vampire is that, like a mosquito, he or she drains you until moments before your death and keeps you in that state that truly is his own. of the undead, so being very close to physical death although not touching it. So he brings you as close to him. It's just like if you look dead, you're dead. I mean, you're vanished from but in truth you physically live. So the vampire isn't spiritual. The vampire lives physically, but doesn't live in his mind and doesn't live in his soul. He is detached. It's like a ghost, okay? But he does have a physical body, although it's just a biological existence, maintained through, the sucking off of people's energy. Does not produce anything, okay? Does not say anything. Hints. I wish you could do that for me, but doesn't say what. I wish you could help me doing that, although the last person I asked didn't help me. I wish that you could be with me, and you're not really sure what they want. So again, it's a delicate topic, and it's something that you have to meditate upon, something that you have to pray for, and something that you have to be with. Okay, something that you have to be with. Must you be with the... We were created immortal by God physically. Christ has resurrected from his grave physically. The only one who can give physical death is God. And God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit in spiritual truth are different people but the same being. Like in the Trinity, which is one of the tenets of the Christian religion in truth, okay? So invoke the Trinity to protect you from these things, okay? A vampire will take your breath away. He'll push you to the wall until you have no resistance, and all you can do is obey and sacrifice. So they copy a lot of the myth and the spiritual message of Christ, that sacrifice. The devil always has to put, with the tailor work that he does, he puts the fake golden string in what he does, so that people get confused. In this case, he tries to mimic, and there's demons who are vampires like Lilith. He tries to mimic the Most High, or his son in this case, because he tells you that you have to sacrifice like he's sacrificed, like Jesus has sacrificed for you. So the vampirism is about sacrifice. Now we're moving up more onto the vampirism that's magical practice for a lot of people. And there's rituals that people do to drain you of your physical energy. How to protect from that? It's you wear a talisman. You can contact me if there's a psychic vampire, whether spiritual or unaware, in your life, and they can block you. The talisman, the vampire can block you, and you need a protection. In the meanwhile, call on Michael and the angels to shield you from this energy that it's like cords coming out of your tentacles, coming out of your visceral brain, usually. And they try to make you feel sorry, try to make you feel humiliated until you answer. And they knew this from the start, it was going to cause your anger. But while you answer and you do that crazy thing, and it's, just like that. Can't even snap my finger. Just like that. The demon enters you, and then you become possessed. I couldn't snap my finger because I had the Holy Spirit ring that was given for me for free during the Easter holidays here in Rome in the church. So the vampire sells a lot of books. So vampire brings you bad luck. Okay? More copies of the Bible could be sold. There's no mercy for who robs you of your life. It's a killer of your life under guise. Okay? He or she is not killing your physical life. I mean, no one is. Everyone is safe. But the symbol is the life killer. If you're watching this video, everyone is alive. Why loving someone who is killing you in a way or the other, even if it's the sweet poison of a vampire? So, like Satan, the first thing that the vampire takes away from you is love and the ability, even the skill to love, if you want to use that terminology. Doesn't make you feel happy about the little things that you accomplish in life. Doesn't give you satisfactions. Wants. Claims your happiness, claims his due, claims to be served, claims to be adored, like the devil claims. Doesn't give anything, really. Magically, the vampires were born because they were thought to be similar to some stories that were circulating in Europe about vampires. Before these stories, vampires didn't really exist. Demons were fallen angels. So in the case of many demons, they chose to choose the archetype of the vampire in order to interest people during the time that, people were getting interested in these things, okay? So in this case, why do you interest yourself in negative things to begin with? The vampire clings onto that and drains you. How do you feel after engaging in that religious, discussion that led you to sin, and you are still feeling sick because of it? If you don't accept the truth that's God, you feel sick. One of the ways to work against a vampire is to cut your energy cords with him or her or them through Archangel Michael's help. So he cuts these cords of fear and confusion, and then you go back to your original state of serving God. So not serving the vampire. The vampire wants to be served, okay? God reminds you that your natural instinct is to serve Him, the Most High, while the vampire, by making you dream and giving you the illusion that you're serving your divine self because you are a god. Sometimes I read in the past some black magic books would say, you are the most powerful god that is. And how can all Satanists be the most powerful god? That creates confusion among them. When time ago I was, on the other path, the other side, Lucifer has, not even gonna say exactly what he said, but he was tell me what other Satanists would go through, and every time it was terrible consequence that they were gonna have in their life. And this person and that person are gonna die badly because they disrespected me, Lucifer, and I am God, and they're gonna die. Something like that. I never heard from Jesus. I never heard from the angels or God. I only heard from the evil one. because he knows that the more you follow him, the more, the harsher the consequence will be, because of how God will punish you. Okay, but he never said, I'll reward this person because of how much he's praying to me, he's following me, he's offering to me. Every time it was that, and he pushes you towards that end that you can only come out of if you follow God, your creator, and you can come out of it already. You are human, right? So all demons in truth are vampires, in the sense that they take away from you your most special things. And if your most special thing is to destroy yourself, they'll take that away from you too, because they put pressure on you so that you work a lot and you do all those things that you don't like to do. You work, you don't take drugs, you give your best, and then all in a sudden you'll be gone, dead. When he'll make you start loving life, in quotes, by doing something that you don't like, so he'll put you closer to your deeds, you'll be at least faking it, and then he'll condemn you to the eternal death. And he won't do anything he does for real. He'll make you believe things by associating things with other things, by saying, for instance, that this is your life purpose when it's not. So vampires can only be eliminated when you recognize them, you send them away from your life, you cut every connection with a vampire, you let him, let her drop. And that's a drop in the ocean. Not even your ocean, it's another ocean in another planet, it's far away from you, another color, another ocean. Your ocean is God's ocean. These people cannot enter. So it's still, and again, it's the illusion that these people can drain your energy, because in reality they're not. It's the power perceived of something that drains your energy. Power that's power, like God's power, replenishes your energy. Sometimes if a vampire is common to you, now I'm sending you Reiki healing for you to be saved. A psychic vampire attacked me years ago when I was studying magic, and luckily my teacher back then was a Reiki master. She gave me some Reiki for a few minutes, and I detached from the vampire. That leads you to this negative thinking pattern where everything is fear and tragedy, until you've come again to that anger that you attack somebody else, and it's like rabies that spreads. So Christ is the only one who can defeat the vampire. How? By eliminating fear from you, by making you detach of fear, detach from fear and its effects on you and your beloved friends, beloved ones, beloved family. Your family is important for taking you back in your love nest where you feel secure. Don't let your family know that literally there's a psychic vampire around you, or they will think you're crazy. But let them know there's someone nasty, someone who stalks you. Stalkers are also psychic vampires. Okay, but for that we have the law, okay, of humans that helps you to in conjunction with the law of God. So laws are becoming updated to this trend in modern society where everyone feels lonely and they need company, and if they don't get that company, they become isolated, angry, tormented, possessed, and then vampires. Also, to detach from a vampire, you must remember to detach from sin. If you let go of sin, you let go of the possibility of the vampire to be in your same energy space. Say, it's forbidden to go at, I don't know, 250 miles per hour. The vampire, the victim, goes to prove herself, or himself better than anyone. He challenges himself, or is challenged by a friend, to go at 250, 260 miles per hour. Then, the person has an accident. Never go beyond your limits to prove anyone that you're worth of something, okay? Because then they come to you, see, you weren't able to do this, they set these records to you that are too high, you can't make it. That's the devil, when sets the goal that's too high and you can't make it, as he couldn't make, he couldn't make it, he couldn't fulfill his task. Being the first angel ever created, it would have been easy for him, he couldn't fulfill it. He couldn't follow his nature. Couldn't follow it. So with God there's only peace and tranquility, and with a vampire only war and intranquility. How to fight a vampire? To detach from them, to pray for them, and to get far away from them energetically. You can be physically in a relationship that involves the love of a psychic vampire, love in quotes. Never underestimate their power, and always pray for them and for their salvation. Always fight them back with your magic, and never surrender. Never win by using wars, and never win by using means that have the power to attract their aggressive behavior, but always be in touch with God and make Him take care of the situation, okay? So again, how do you fight hate? You fight hate with love. So that's how the psychic vampire is won, and he can be healed if he rejoins the first cause of life, who is God, that he withdrew from because of fear. Fear is the factor that made Lucifer think that he wasn't loved enough, and so that's why he renounced God. Don't make the same mistake. Lucifer cannot be recuperated, cannot be back in life, but you can, and you can fight these creatures, whether demonic or human, by, in the case of human creatures, by loving them. And in both cases, though, it's got to be, in the case for humans, it's got to be detached love. So, and for demons, of course, it's just by they're there, but just ignore them. So by loving yourself and loving the positive of the psychic vampire, the human psychic vampire, you win, and ignoring at the same time these people. When you pray for them, you pray for their salvation, but you don't invest anything energetically beyond the prayer, and then everything is in God's hands. You don't get desperate, you don't get emotional, you don't start crying, you're not moved to tears from someone who renounced God. You try to help them, but you realize they're disciples of that evil in some way. They're not beings of light by their own choice, so you can't be sadder about them. Sometimes they are not conscious of it. Nevertheless, never pity them, always get away from them. And that's it. So that's all I have to tell you. May Jesus protect you and shield you always, and visualize Jesus embracing you, far away from these demons and these people that you don't want in your life. May Archangel Michael and God protect you. from these lower energies and people that are not in integrity. So you can comment on this video if you need magical help. I'm here, and have a good day and a good night. Thank you. God bless.